Hello, welcome to the next episode of Sharkbites. I'm your host this time, Mako Shark, joined by, as usual, Lemon Shark and Hammerhead.
Hello.
Hello.
It's so then this week we're reviewing an old movie, kind of a cult classic, but it's called The Dark Crystal by Jim Henson, or his company at least. So based off some off-the-wall fantasy novels that nobody's really heard of. But it's the original movie for The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, which we reviewed a few months ago.
It's
So,
been a few months already.
yeah. So I was living in a whole different place right at the time. But yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. What did you guys think of it?
I
I
can.
liked it.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Hammer?
Oh no, you're good. I can see why people claim it as a cult classic.
Yeah, like it's one of those things that's kind of weird and off the wall, but honestly, it's not bad and it's really creative. So that's like the ingredients for a cult classic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what really, I think it's kind of standout thing is just that there's no human actors. Like it's all puppets.
Well, what scene was it? Oh gosh, when they're like climbing up like a cliffside. I was like, oh, that's a human in the suit.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's true. There's a few times you see the main character Jen running around. You're like, well, that's a dwarf in a costume, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless
They
they
make
figured out how to make puppets sprint in the 80s.
yeah,
Or
they make sure to hide the face. The face isn't being shown at all.
Yeah. I can see them using kids.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no human actor is shown on on the screen.
I also know human characters too. It's like it's all fantasy, so it's like all extraterrestrial type stuff.
Yeah, like it all takes place on this other planet called Thra. I mean, you know, like it was on Age of Resistance. But I guess just to kind of explain, give a little more context, it takes place like years after Age of Resistance, and since that show was canceled, we don't really know how exactly things went the way they did, but we do know that the Gelflings were all wiped out by the Skeksis, and now there's only one left, and he's being raised by the Mystics, the Ur, who are those like slow, kind of turtle lizard guys. And their leader gets a vision that Jen, who's the main character's name, will be the one that was prophesied to destroy the Skeksis. So then he sets out to do that.
Fun. So you said it was based off a novel?
Yeah, I found this out when I was looking into Age of Resistance. It's based off like a book series.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But wasn't that by Jim Henson as well?
I don't think so. I think it was some author like decades before,
Oh, okay.
or at least a decade. So, but yeah, all the Skeksis from the show are, you know, make their original appearance in the movie, and then a few ones that never showed up. Kind of if you had to pick one to be the main villain, it would probably be the Chamberlain, who's still there, who still has that whiny, nasally voice, and still
Mhm.
has that weird vocal tick where it goes, mm. So
I kind of
there's and there's another Skeksis that they only mention by name in the show, but he becomes a new emperor. So there's
wasn't
he
that
has
the
this big
general?
no, because the general died. Remember?
Yeah, that's why I was like super confused because it sounded like the general and kind of looked like the general. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, they
it
all kind
was
of look the same. Yeah,
true.
not to be racist, but it's the Skeksis, so who cares? But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they mention him by name. They're just like, yeah, that Skekung, I think his name is. He's a great warrior. We should call him back to the castle. And I guess they did. So, but he takes the Emperor's place and banishes the Chamberlain. The Chamberlain goes chasing after Jen and his not girlfriend, Kira. Because, surprise, surprise, there's another Gelfling survivor.
Raised by the dumbest animals alive. Thra.
Yeah.
That were the podlings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's cool, though. She can talk to animals and she can fly. But, yeah, honestly, I don't think the story was amazing, but just the way it was told was so cool and so fun. That's why a lot of people like it. Why they tried to make a show about it.
Yeah, it's interesting because the film, it's weird watching the show first and then the film. Um, because you're like, well, there's a lot of questions that aren't answered, obviously, and then um, there's actually some characters that are alive again, like the scientist. Um,
Oh yeah,
but he dies in the same way, more or less.
yeah. Like he dies in the movie.
Yeah, and um, they also show, I think, when the Chamberlain gets hurt, like the other one gets hurt too, which they didn't do in the show.
Oh, they
That
did actually at one point.
Oh, they did. Okay, I don't remember that one then. Um, but watching the movie, this is back in 1987 or two.
I think 87.
Or well, in the 80s. Um, in that time period, it wasn't common to always make sequels. And watching the movie, it kind of felt like they wanted to do more because they're fitting a lot in an hour and a half. And um,
Oh, was that how long it was? I
yeah,
forgot.
yeah, about hour and a half, hour 35, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, they definitely could explain a lot more, but they have a time limit, so they can't. Which is why I think they wanted to do the show, and then they could explain a lot more, because it was trying to give the history of the Mystics, trying to give the history of the Skeksis, and then you find out then they have the same history prior to that, and like they tried to show the history of Ogra, and then try to show the history of the other random races that you see for 10 minutes. And um I don't know, it just felt like it wanted to show more, but they're just constrained, and which is a little disappointing. um but also it could have been inviting for people to check out the other sources because they wanted more information than they could have shown in the movie. It
Yeah.
could have been really nice as like a two-part movie.
Yeah. And like a few things get filled in by the show. Like during one part, Jen and Kira find like these old ruins from a Gelfling city. And they come to understand, yeah, like we're the last two survivors, but that we know of, but we used to be a great people. So, and then we get to see that in Age of Resistance, at least before it all goes to crap, apparently. I guess there's a lot of comics and stuff that tell the rest of the story. Like Agra has a son, and he's part of the reason why the original beings, the Urskeks, split into the Urs and the Skeksis.
And he's super
And
ugly too.
yeah, and they were actually they were gonna talk about him, or maybe even bring him into season 2 of Age of Resistance, but it got canceled, so they never got that chance.
Yeah.
And there's other comics that actually take place after the movie. Like, I think they sound a little bit lame because the Urskeks come back and then split into Skeksis and Urs again, and it's just kind of retreading the movie. So, but they also reveal there's more Gelfling survivors, and they start to rebuild now that the Skeksis are gone. And then they get into another war with the Skeksis, and yeah, it kind of all turns, yeah.
Like a rehash, basically.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I guess when you beat evil forever, there's not really much to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have done other stories, like Gelflings fighting over how they should rebuild their society, but if they're all like chill and kind of zen the way they were presenting them, then maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't have conflict.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they did show there was more, because I mean it's hard to rebuild a race with just one man, one woman. There's a lot of conflict with that biologically, and one gets infected. Well, there he goes.
Yeah, like one case of dysentery and the whole race is gone.
Yeah.
So, and I'm kind of glad they do find other survivors, so it's not just like Jenny and Kira have to repopulate the planet.
Yeah. I will say another thing about the movie. I actually liked it how they drained essence better than they did in the show. It the way that the show did it, it made sense of why they went extinct, because they just used them all up in a way.
Yeah,
But the way that they're draining the life essence, but not necessarily drain the whole life, making them into like mindless beings, actually made more sense to me than absorbing the whole body and everything else as well.
yeah. Well, I think the reasoning was that Gelflings are supposed to be closer to Thra, so they have more essence to give. So when it's taken, they just kind of implode. But in the movie, they try to drain some podlings, and they just kind of wither up a bit and become mindless. So they use them as slaves afterwards. But they also can't really get essence from them.
Yeah.
Like the new emperor drinks some and turns young for like a few seconds, and then turns old again, and he gets all pissy about it. Which is
It's
part of why
also
they want Ben and Kira.
it's also interesting how another thing, all those like the soldiers, like the beetle soldiers. Like I thought there was only like 2 of them, and then there's like 50 of them. I don't know where. Like, I guess they weren't almost extinct to that one race that they made them from.
Yeah, the Gartham.
Yeah, but anyways,
Well, what did you think, Lemon?
I liked it. I think you made a good point earlier. Like, I think a lot of it was the presentation of it. Like, just I had lots of fun watching it just for all the different creature designs and just seeing like different stuff pop up that you don't expect, like in the environment, and also just it being puppets too makes it very more interesting presentation. So I think my favorite creature was Fitzgeek when that thing popped up.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah,
so
it's
funny
kind of
seeing
a
the whole
jump
thing.
scare.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I get a little lost after a bit once they repair the dark crystal and they all merge into those. I can't remember what they're called, but merge into like the original cells and like oh, you fixed it, everything. And then they go on the whole monologue. I get kind of lost. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on anymore. But and somehow the girls like suddenly brought back to life, and it's like, I'm like, wait, how'd that happen? But I think for overall, it's definitely like fun cult classic. I was watching some videos, some YouTube videos talking about it, and apparently the director, his original plan was to have it all be spoken in like some like made up languages for the races, have like no English
Oh
spoken
yeah.
whatsoever. And but I think the studio is like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Like they weren't even going to like plan on doing subtitles. They were just going to have it all just be this language and try to let people figure it out. And I'm like, I'm really glad that they didn't do that. So it's actually nice to like it'd be kind of cool if they did that, but have subtitles at least, you know?
Yeah, like that'd be a little too experimental. That sounds like something that like that sounds like something an indie movie would try to do. Like
Yeah.
some people say, "Oh yeah, that's cool," and then nobody else cares because it's like, you know, way to go. That's artsy fartsy, but I don't want to spend an hour and a half watching it. So, well, the movie itself critically stands at a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, I think a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. So that kind of reflects it. Just, you know, story's kind of confusing, but it's so creative that you kind of forgive it, honestly.
Yeah. It's fun
Um,
just to watch it just for the presentation itself, I feel like.
yeah. So now, moving on to the second phase, or the second question, did it make you like how much fun did you have watching it? Which Lemon kind of already answered.
Yeah, I kind of just regurgitate. It's a unique experience, and so overall, you can't say it was bad. And coming from like a different perspective, kind of going backwards, um, it was good and nice to kind of see a bunch of connections, but then there was a bunch of things that were confusing as well, that just didn't transfer properly, and it was a little harder to be like, wait a
Yeah.
sec, but they did that differently in the show. And it was like, well, actually, no, the show did it differently than the movie. But um, overall, I feel like it's a fair rating, and I'm glad I didn't really watch it as a kid because that would be a really creepy movie for me. Um,
Yeah. Well, I watched it as a kid and I turned out fine.
that's good.
It was good.
I thought he was going to say, "Oh yeah, we can tell" or something.
No, I can see what people have good feelings about it, or watching it on YouTube. It was kind of fun reading all the comments. A lot of people like, "Oh, bless whoever decided to put this on here," and this is one of the better films of this time, and it's too bad it got overshadowed or something.
Yeah.
And some people were talking about like it came out at the wrong time. But then The Labyrinth, I guess, came out right after, like a couple of years right after, and that was more of a commercial success, and it was kind of a similar vibes, but actually had humans. Um,
Yeah. And I think it helped that it had Prince in it. Or
True.
sorry, not
Oh,
Prince, David Bowie.
yes, David Bowie, yes. Um, but
I
I'm
feel like I
curious.
actually
Oh,
finish your thought. Finish your
yeah,
thought first.
thank you. Um, I'm curious how it would have been if that movie came out first and then The Dark Crystal. I'm curious if that would have boosted it, or people would have been like, "Ah, we already saw this type before," or vice versa. Like, did it boost Labyrinth because the story came out? But okay,
Oh
that's me.
yeah. Hmm. That's a good point because like you can build up or like goodwill or bad will. You know, like Pixar, Pixar like anytime they put out a movie, it's almost guaranteed to make a profit because people trust Pixar. And then on the flip side, you have Ubisoft, where like whenever they put out a game, there's a lot more hate towards it. Like Star Wars Outlaws came out, and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty fun game, pretty decent, but it got so much hate when it first came out because nobody likes or trusts Ubisoft anymore. So yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Maybe if Labyrinth had come up first, and since it was more popular, kind of drummed up interest in Jim Henson, maybe the Dark Crystal would have had a little more hype to it when it came out.
I get that pipe.
Well, and you had something you were gonna say, right, Lemon?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you've all seen um Labyrinth. Um I don't know, I didn't really care for Labyrinth as much as Dark Crystal. Like I did enjoy Labyrinth watching through it, but for some reason I feel like Dark Crystal kind of hit me in the feels more than Labyrinth did.
Much singing.
Yeah. I think it also was off-putting seeing, well, not off-putting, but it was kind of like weird seeing the puppets and the humans interact too. So it kind of pulled you out of the immersion.
That's true.
Oh,
But
like when
also the
like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like the plot gets kind of like lost in the like. Anyways, we're talking about the Dark Crystal, not about Labyrinth, but maybe I'll have to make Labyrinth another topic for another day. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
actually
no,
haven't seen it.
yeah, okay, yeah. We can make that another one.
We can,
We can make, yeah,
yeah,
but yeah.
like I kind of know what you mean because it's like when the Muppets are talking to a guest star. Like it's charming and quirky, but when you're trying to do a serious movie, it's just kind of weird. Like it feels off.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think that's the only issue that with me. I think is part of the plot too. But I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch it again and give it another chance and get a fresh perspective on it.
Yeah, yeah. I just saw a clip from it the other day. It just came into my feed. Like there was, it was something where the classic "one of us tells the truth and the other tells a lie" question. And just seeing like Jennifer Connelly kind of bounce off these weird Muppet characters, it was charming. But I've also seen that clip where David Bowie's surrounded by a bunch of, I don't know, his minions or something, and they're all singing. And yeah, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like it looks like exactly what it is, just a bunch of people with their hands shoved up the back of a puppet, just bouncing it around and singing. You know, and it's like, why is David Bowie doing this? It looks like a weird music video. Rather
80s,
than
man.
like, oh, what'd you say?
The 80s.
Oh yeah. So then third question, did the movie make you feel anything? And I kind of wanted to jump into that. Like, how do I put it? It did feel a little bit grand because it feels like a weird fairy tale. So it kind of has like a mythic feel to it. We've got to fix the dark crystal to save the world and defeat the evil sorcerers or beings or whatever. And like, I love when Jen stabs the crystal shard into the dark crystal and fixes it, and the Skeksis tower, like the shell falls off of it, and it's this big. It turns out it was this big glittering crystal palace the whole time, and all the lanterns green. Like I love all that. It didn't like hit me in the feels, but it was cool. I liked it. It's like I don't know, watching a fairy tale as a kid. And then the music, it's not like I don't think it's iconic, but I recognize it the instant I hear it. Like the main theme. Whenever I hear it, I just go, "Oh, Dark Crystal." But it's like it comes echoing back to me. I'm like, "Wow, I'm surprised I remember that." It's not like Star Wars or Jaws where it's like, "Yeah, I know that movie." It's like, "Oh yeah." You know? What did you guys think?
Yeah, I could get that. I don't really remember the soundtrack that much, but yeah, there's a few parts of it that kind of hit me in the feels a little bit. I'm not sure what it is, but for some reason, whenever I see like a character like losing their parents and being like raised by or being taken in by something other, like even like another species or something else, I don't know. It always kind of hits me in the feels, like when they show the flashback of like the I can't remember his name, the main Gelfling getting like adopted by the Mystics and the other one getting adopted by like the Puddlings. I don't know. For some reason, those parts hit me in the feels a bit.
Yeah, like it's kind of scary and sad when you see Kira's flashback because you see her mom actually getting grabbed by one of the big Gartham, those big crab monster things, and carrying her off. So it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark, dark movie at times, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's not called the light crystal. Huh, huh.
I'm glad you got what I was going for.
How about you, Hammerhead?
It was you brought up the scenes, and I was like, if this was not a rated G film, like
Yeah.
we would have seen them like take a podling in half. And I'm like, oh, it's like this could have been a very grim, dark show.
Wait, really?
Uh,
They take? I don't even remember that they did that.
no. I'm saying if it wasn't a rated G movie,
Oh, yeah.
uh, but you know how it made me feel. I would say they it made me feel satisfied, I guess.
Yeah.
Not necessarily emotional or anything. It's like I think they did a good job of making on portraying characters the way they wanted. I feel like the Gelfling puppets in this film look a lot better than the Age of Resistance. Um, like the way they made Kira's face compared to the main girl, excuse me, in Age of Resistance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just I think in the show they were trying to make them not look as human because in this movie they kind of had like a similar nose and more of a similar mouth to more human. Um, but I don't know. I just felt like they were more appealing in the movie.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, it took a quick second to Google what Kira looked like because I forgot, and I'm like, yeah, I see what you mean, actually.
yeah, and so you know, I kind of feel bad because I guess I just wasn't paying attention as much. I was listening, but not like watching when they were talking about their adoption. I must have been distracted, but um, I guess kind of going along with Lemon, I do like those kind of I wouldn't say redemption, but it's kind of redemption because they're growing up and they're fulfilling their life's purpose or something like that, even though they were in these bad circumstances.
Yeah.
Um, and they did what they're supposed to. And I guess kind of answer one thing that Lemon was talking about when Kira gets stabbed and then comes back to life. I think how life was brought to the world and everything is green. It's just life force went back into Kira or something, just healed her.
Yeah.
Not
Well, I found out that I guess the Urskeks, the original, you know, uh, what the Skeksis, the Mystics, were originally when they were a whole being, they could do crazy stuff like that. They could heal people and bring them back from the dead.
then it sounds like they were pretty stupid to get split up in the first place.
Yeah, well, that ties into what Agra's son did and how he screwed everything up.
Yeah, but and then I guess on the flip side, what made me feel is kind of that little disappointment of there's so much that they could explain, but things just didn't turn out right for that to occur.
Yeah.
It because for you, it's more nostalgia, kind of like on some of the previous things that I proposed. But for me, this is a new experience going kind of opposite. And so it's more of, I can see why, but I can also see that it didn't get its chance that it should have.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that too, but
yeah. Well, like we were talking about, that's kind of what the show was supposed to tackle, but that got canceled after one season. So it's like the whole brand, franchise, series, whatever you want to call it. It's just kind of, I don't know, cursed.
yeah. But at least they have a solid ending for the.
Yeah. Well, and I did want to mention two other things I felt. One was kind of fear sometimes, because like you said, it is kind of a dark movie. It does get intense, like you guys were saying, and like the Gelfling gets drained. That's kind of a horrifying scene, and then like they use those two animals, the Longstriders or whatever, to get to the to get to the evil palace, and then they attack the Gartham, and you see the poor Landstriders get killed by them. Like one of them, they just knock him to the ground, and they all surround him, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, are they eating it? What the crap?" Like, oh, I feel so bad.
Well, one did go out like a boss point and off the side of the cliff.
Yeah, and they,
But
yeah, I mean, he took one with him at least.
But I'm like, were those like the last two Landstriders?
Yeah, that was one thing I liked about the show. I was like, oh, okay, they used to ride Landstriders all the time, so there's got to be a lot more of them. So I'm like,
Hopefully.
okay. So, and there's one scene, it just makes me feel awkward, like uncomfortable, and it's like when we first meet Jen, it's just him sitting naked next to a pool and blowing on a flute. I'm like, why? He's a puppet. I mean, not that I want him to be real either. Why does he have to be naked at all?
Yeah. He could have just been playing by the pool just for fun.
Yeah. Like, it's like grabbing a violin and just like playing it naked by the pool. It's like, okay, choose one or the other.
Do you play naked by the bathroom there, Lemon, on your cello?
Not in a while.
Not a while. Yeah. Just a really weird moment. So, but
There's a flashback scene where he's like naked too, taking a bath.
oh yeah, that too. Like, how many times is this guy gonna get naked in this movie?
I thought you were going to talk about when they strip down the Chamberlain.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, that part's kind of gross, but I feel like
It's fitting, but yeah, it's gross.
yeah, like it's fitting, and it shows that underneath all their gaudy, ridiculous clothes, the Skeksis are just gross and like frail looking. Like they look corrupt, which suits them perfectly.
Yeah.
They've even got like, if you look closely, and not that you want to, but if you look closely, they've even got like another withered set of arms under their robes. So kind of like the Mystics have four arms.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they only show that a little bit. Doesn't the general use his other arms as well during that one fight?
Oh yeah. I don't know. in the
I
show.
know.
Yeah, I might be remembering wrong.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe he did. Yeah. Um, I can't really think of anything else to go over. How about you guys?
Um, there's a couple things. If this came out in today, do you think it would do as well, or would there be something that you'd like to change for it to fit in today?
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. Because you were saying people in the comments were saying like, "Oh, this movie came out at the wrong time. That's why it didn't do great."
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I feel like if it came out today, though, the directors would probably resort to CGI a lot more often than they would have back then.
Yeah,
But then again, the TV show they did a pretty good job of like holding off on CGI.
yeah. Like the TV show, they only used CGI when they had to. Like just when it was objectively better or easier, well, than puppets. If it came out nowadays, I feel like it would kind of be the same thing, like just a cult classic. Because yeah, it's really cool that it's all puppets and the setting's really interesting. But I don't feel like it would be like this huge hit.
Yeah, I feel
Kind
the
of
same too.
for the same reason the show was like critically acclaimed, but it just didn't do great. It didn't do big numbers, and on top of that, all those puppets and practical effects, they're expensive. That's part of why they canceled it. It was like, well, we're not getting a return on this. Like, I think it's one of the most expensive shows Netflix has ever made. So, and I feel like with how studios are like scared of losing money nowadays, and with how expensive filmmaking is nowadays, maybe it just would have been dead on arrival.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little sad. They might have had to resort to something else like an animation or
Yeah.
I'm just saying CGI, which can pull off some things pretty well now. Um, but it wouldn't have that same charm.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just it being a breath of fresh air would drive it up there.
You guys decide in the comments below.
Yeah. Like, because every now and then you'll have a hit that just, I don't know, comes out of nowhere, like K-pop Demon Hunters. So, like, yeah, I don't, I think I misspoke a little bit. I don't think it would be dead on arrival, but I think it would just kind of end up the same spot it is now.
Yeah, that sounds that sounds about right. Sadly.
Yeah. So,
Oh shoot, sorry, I spoke and I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I feel like I'm okay with it being a cult classic because I feel like not everything has to be a huge like mainstream success. Everyone just enjoy things for existing and doesn't have to have like a huge, like 5 or 10 seasons of TV show afterwards too. I think it's fine being a cult classic to me.
yeah.
And I think it'd be
Yeah,
kind of fun to see more movies like it where it's like puppets and set in like an interesting fantasy world, but like not necessarily a direct sequel to that one specifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice to have things not driven into the ground.
Yeah, I
Yeah, and it's
agree.
funny because, oh, sorry.
Oh, as by Like you're saying, the 5 seasons. Overkill.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually funny because I saw some videos about a year ago where this practical effects team was showing off a new kind of puppet they developed. And it was just insane. Like the expressions it could make, like they took it to a bunch of puppeteers, I think including guys from Jim Henson, and they were just blown away. They were like, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen a puppet that expressive before." Like it's just a it's just a little boy's head, which is kind of morbid, but it can like it can look angry, it can look shocked, it can look sad. Like it's incredible just by the few like subtle changes in your fingers. So, and one of the guys I showed it to got really excited. He was like, "If you combined this with a little bit of CGI, imagine what you could make." So I'm like, "Yeah, I would love to see more practical effects and puppets, and hopefully they'll start investing more of their budgets in that."
I agree.
I
I-
agree too.
Sorry, didn't mean to leave you hanging there.
No, you're good. Oh. All right. Any other thoughts?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I mean, feels like kind of a shorter episode, but honestly, it's just a pretty simple movie. Like either you'll like it or you'll forget about it. Just kind of take it or leave it. So, all right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Um, do we have a hint about our next review?
Yeah, I'm hoping I didn't watch this already with you guys. It's just been so long, but it's another anime. Um, it's a little bit older. Came out in 2019. Um, I tried finding one that's a little more different than what we've watched before. It's a more anthropomorphic type show. So it might be a one that you guys like or just don't like. So
Does that have a
we'll find.
toucan in it?
Yes. Did we already watch it?
I think we watched like 1 or 2 episodes, but we didn't finish it though.
Wait, what
Okay.
was it?
I can't remember what it's called, but I remember watching some anthropomorphic anime with you.
All right, sure. I'll just say it. It's called Africa No Salary Man, or just Africa Salary Man. It is about these anthropomorphic animals in a office. There's a couple of famous voice actors. There's a toucan that's voiced by one of the main characters in. Oh wow! Actually, no, there is quite a lot of famous voice actors. I'll save it. But one of the main is based that plays the voice of one of the main characters from Demon Slayer.
Oh, wait, I think I do remember that. It was like kind of an off the wall comedy, wasn't it?
Yeah, if we have watched it, I'll find something else. But we'll go from there, and then if we already have watched it, then ignore everything I'm saying right now.
All right. Well, thank you all again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.